So do that while I relaunch the live stream, since I had to take it down.
Oh, there, it comes right up. That's nice.
Yeah. Okay, so that's up. Let me go grab it. You just have to reshare it. Oops. Let's see. New phone. Okay. All right. Well, we're not going to waste any more time.
Okay.
So we're back up. Let me tweet this back out. That's tweeted back out. We're live. Great. Happy to see everybody. We're back. And now we are going to actually do the damn thing. Okay. And I'm going to just absolutely toss Streamlabs into the Delaware River, which is not far from me. Okay. Ready, Anita? We're going to get going in 3, 2, 1. Start betting. Okay. We each have $1,000 and 25 minutes to make moves all around the in-play Major League Baseball games going on. As I mentioned, there are a bunch of them. And let's see what we do. Now, you don't have to spend all your money immediately. You can, of course, take your time. You're already going. So you're going for the under 10.5. And what game is that, Anita?
So I'm, for whatever reason, it's not letting me place it. Oh, there we go. Okay. Order canceled due to market price change.
There you go.
So first,
go ahead.
So first things first, coming into the Rays-Reds game, I did like the under at 10.5. They're at the bottom of the 8th right now, and they have 8 runs. I like the under here. Granted, I know it's a hitter's ballpark, but the winds are blowing there today. The Rays bullpen is extremely good, and Franco is out for the Rays today. So a number of reasons why I like the under. Even though it's 8-0, I still like the under here. It's bottom of the 8th. I'm trying to get on it at $16, and for whatever reason, it's not letting me. So,
okay. Well, it should be at some point, unless the market is just a little volatile. I'll tell you what I did. The Phillies are up in the top of the 3rd. They have 2, 3, 4 coming out. Trey Turner already homered today. And he also just singled. So now Kyle Schwarber is up against Mike Clevenger, the righty for the White Sox. So I like the matchup here, righty-lefty. Of course, a power left-handed bat. So I'm going to try to eke out some dollars here on Schwarby. Maybe put one into the right field seats here. Give the Phillies a 4-2 lead. So that's what I've got right now. Again, we'll do portfolio checks, the 15-minute mark, 10-minute mark, and 5-minute mark. There you go. You just placed one. So that's the only bet I've made so far. I've got $750 left, and I've got $250 left to spend before the 10-minute mark. So what did you go ahead and buy there?
So I bought the Diamondbacks. I like them coming in 5-0 their last 5 Wednesday games, 5-1 against right-handed pitchers. They're down right now, 7-4, bottom of the 4th against the Cards, but they're trading right now at $35. And you know that I've been high on this Diamondbacks team since the get-go. I told everybody my favorite prop bet out there was over 76.5 wins with this Diamondbacks team this season, and that's looking good right now. So at $35, why not? I'm gonna I put a share or 2 in to see if maybe they could come back. Bottom of the 5th, so still a lot of time left. Probably my favorite play here is the Rangers. And right now they're up 3-0, top of the 3rd, and I'm trying to buy a solid amount of shares. And
I'm having problems in the Guardians game as well. I'll see if I can get that fixed for you.
Okay.
Meantime, I've got $250 of the Phillies. As mentioned, I'm down $7.08 right now. But again, big spot here.
So this is.
Uh-oh. Sounds like you dropped your phone.
So this is pretty difficult to like have a conversation with you while I'm trying to like
I
manage
know.
and buy these shares, Dan. So
I know. I know. I
I
know.
apologize if I'm not contributing to the program. I'm trying to get I'm I'm
You're just trying
trying
to
to get
win.
I'm trying to get all my plays in here,
Yeah. No, that's
and
okay.
I and they're
Uh,
not going through.
yeah. Trying as well. So we're only about 4 minutes in. So still opportunities to.
What's my cut time here to spend
You've
my
got another 5 minutes. Giants Marlins. Let's see what's going on in that game. We've got 2-1, bottom 5 between the Giants and the Marlins. I'll tell you, I think this Marlins team is actually pretty good. Okay. Well, I seem to be having the same issue as well. Let me see if we can get anybody on that.
in the meantime.
Yeah.
I
You've
can
got a
tell
bunch of bets, right?
Again, my three bets coming in to do the live betting with you today was, again, the Rays and Reds under 10.5. Again, I liked the Diamondbacks and I love the Rangers. That was my favorite play. Again, I'm trying to buy as many shares of this Rangers game as possible. They're trading right now at $49 to straight up win.
Mm-hmm.
But for whatever reason, I can't get on it.
Yeah, likewise.
Two games later on this afternoon after we sign off that I'm going to be all over.
Yeah.
And that is, I do like the Dodgers today over the Mets, and that's at $45.50. That's what it's trading at right now per share. Max Scherzer just has not looked great to start the season. This start was pushed back. He was actually supposed to start over the weekend. It was pushed back because of some back issues. And Mookie Betts is supposed to be back in the lineup. He's been on paternity leave.
Yeah.
But he's expected to be back. So
Playing
I do
shortstop.
like the Dodgers. I do like the Dodgers against the Mets. And then the other game that I like is the Cubs against the A's. We know how horrible the A's are. They've got a pitching prospect who's making his major league debut today, Miller. It'll be his first start. But the A's are just absolutely horrible. And the Cubs are out there. Justin Steele will be on the mound for the Cubs. He's got a 1.42 ERA. He's only given up 3 runs in the last 19 innings. So the Cubs and the Dodgers, 2 Major League Baseball games that I'm going to be playing on Sport Trade after we sign off. Just FYI.
Yeah. So the Cubs have been one of the biggest surprises of the season. So we unveiled the MLBI recently, and the Cubs are, I believe, the 7th most profitable team on the MLBI. So what does that mean? That's if you had bought a share of them to win every single day, right? Well, every single game they play, right? Then you would be able to basically extrapolate out how profitable they are. So if you were to do that every day, you would be up $130 on the Cubs this year, a 19.25% ROI on the entire season. And that ranks only behind the Twins, the Diamondbacks, the Pirates, the Braves, the Brewers, and the Rays. And that's it. My beloved Philadelphia Phillies, if you had bought a share of them to win every single day, you would be down $250. So they've been terrible, and that's been incredibly frustrating. Okay. Unfortunately, I'm being told we're having a little bit of a glitch in our beta app. So perhaps I'm having the same problem you're having there, Anita. So I don't know if we'll be able to place any, unfortunately, in real time, which is unfortunate because the Phillies just went up 3-2. So I could have made a little money on there. Okay. So I'm very curious for your opinion on something. So MLB betting, just in general. By the way, you have your regular screen up, so we can see all that. If you just want to go back to beta. When you're betting NBA playoffs, right, do you take a different approach considering intensity is up and rotations are tightened and volume goes up for guys who, whereas they were playing 30 minutes before, maybe are now playing 40, 41 minutes. Does it change how you approach those games from a betting perspective at all?
I'm sorry, because I was changing my screen. So
sure,
I'm
no
usually
problem.
good at multitasking.
That's okay.
There's just a lot going on. So just ask me your question again. I'm
absolutely, sorry. Absolutely. So when you are betting NBA playoffs specifically, right, there's a big difference between the NBA playoffs and the NBA regular season, whereas you are shortening rotations, whereas guys before who are maybe taking 12, 13 shots a game and playing 30 minutes are now playing 41 minutes or even more. So does it change the way that you approach the NBA playoffs from a betting perspective as opposed to the regular season?
No, not really.
Okay.
You know, granted, their time might change in regard to minutes that they get, but competition has elevated, right? So they're going to be playing up against better defenses, better teams. Um, so I don't necessarily look at per minutes per game as a deciding factor. I mean, obviously, heading into today's games, for example, waiting to hear what's the deal with Morant, right? Is he going to play for Memphis? Everything we're hearing is that he's doubtful. We heard him talk about his hand and how painful on a level 1 to 10, 10 being the highest. How painful is it? He said a 10. There were some other players, Jackson, for example, who felt really optimistic that he was going to play, but everything we're hearing right now is that he's going to be doubtful. If he does not play, I'm looking at Tyus Jones, and he's been, he has stepped in a big way whenever Morant has been out. He's one of the veteran leaders on that squad and is a great game manager. So in regard to minutes, for him, obviously he'll get more minutes if Morant is out.
Yeah.
But other than that, no. Minutes per game is I'm not spending a lot of time doing an in-depth analysis in regard to that and how that equates.
I just think that's interesting, right? Because you would think volume would go up for players. Now, I mean, an obvious exception to that would be somebody like Joel Embiid, right? Who only took 13 shots in game 2. But it was very obvious that the Nets were coming out and saying, okay, we are going to allow anybody else to beat you. He had 20 points on 13 shots, double teamed, triple teamed. But a guy like Tyrese Maxey ends up with 30 points. So I'm more of like a prop market, since we do offer those on Sport Trade. I like to look at those and say, like, for example, when the Embiid prop market came out before game 2, it was, I think, 31.5. And if you had watched game 1, it was very obvious the Nets' game plan was to make sure that literally anybody else beats us. If that's Tobias Harris, Tyrese Maxey, James Harden, the towel boy, the guy slinging beers in the stands, it doesn't matter. Just anybody besides Joel. So that to me was an opportunity to really get in on an under, if we're talking about props, just based purely upon the difference in intensity level, matchups, and how coaching scheme strategies change over the course of a 7-game series. Okay.
Really quick in regard to that 76ers series, something that's been paying off for me is Joel Embiid assists, because the Nets cannot contain him. So what are they doing? They're double, triple teaming him. And so what is he doing? He's getting the ball out to the perimeter where Maxey and Harden are nailing threes. They had 21 threes in game 1. They had 11 or 12 threes in game 2. So a big prop bet that's hitting for me, not sure if you're going to be offering it on Sport Trade, is Joel Embiid over assists. He had 7 in game 2.
Yeah. Unfortunately, we're not going to have assists up yet. We are working on all kinds of different props, specifically for baseball, hopefully by summertime and stuff like that. That's really going to be a game changer for exchanges. But currently, we don't have them up. Let me go through your I know you had sent me a bunch of your plays earlier. I want to make sure we don't miss anything. You had Anthony Edwards over 23.5, right? The Nuggets over 223 and a half in the Nuggets game. Nikola Jokic, for whatever reason, there seems to be some indecision on whether or not he's going to play tonight. I can't imagine he doesn't play, right?
He's dealing with a wrist issue. I'm hearing that he's dealing with a wrist issue. I'm not hearing that he's not going to play. I'm anticipating him to play. I actually like the under of 23.5 points for him, by the way, because of the wrist issue. But my play here, and I have 2 plays. Actually, I have 3 plays in this game. Number 1, love the over here. I think that this number at 220, it's hovering around 222. I know you can buy the over at 223.5 on Sport Trade for 46.5. This is a T-Wolves team. They came in, they were uber tired in game 1, right? They had played those 2 playing games. They had to travel across the country. They only shot 37% from the field. They had 12 turnovers that resulted in 17 points for the Nuggets. It was a blowout, so Towns was taken out, and he barely played a lot of minutes in the third and fourth quarter. I think this is going to be a much different team. So I think the over-under total here is a knee-jerk reaction to what we saw in game one. And probably my favorite play here is the over. I do like Anthony Edwards over 23.5 points. He averages 36 minutes a game. He only played 28 in game one, again, because it was a blowout. And, the coaching staff for the T-Wolves said that they need to attack in transition, and they want to highlight Anthony Edwards. So I love Anthony Edwards over 23.5 points. Because of Jokic's wrist, I'm going under 23.5 points for Jokic. And I like Murray over points as well. The T-Wolves, 24th in 3-point defensively and allowing 3 points attempts. And that's where Murray shines. So I've got Murray over points, Anthony Edwards over points, the T-Wolves over 23.5, and Jokic under 23.5. So I've got quite a few plays in that late game. Hopefully everybody could stay up and watch.
Yeah. Before we go, I do want to have a quick conversation with you about NBA futures. I have it pulled up here for everyone to see. The Boston Celtics at $23 per share, plus 328, is the tops in the market. Then you got the Bucks at plus 380, the Suns at plus 534, the Nuggets at plus 882, the 76ers at plus 1127. The same for your Los Angeles Lakers. Now, months ago, Anita, you had said buy the Lakers, and here they are in a good spot. A couple weeks ago, I said buy the Kings at $1.90 per share. Now they're at $3.50 at $27.02. Through the first week of the NBA playoffs, is there a team that's catching your eye that you want to buy some shares of?
Yeah, and I'm with you with the Kings right now. We all saw what happened. If you didn't watch the game, I'm sure you saw it in highlights in regard to what happened with Draymond Green and him stomping on the chest of Sabonis. Yeah. And now reports today is that he's going to be suspended for Game 3. That's the NBA deciding the series. So, he definitely, not that he's the best player on that squad, as we know, Curry is, but he dictates so much in regard to attitude, physicality, defense. And so without him on the court, I see the Kings winning Game 3 and then possibly the Golden State Warriors waving the white flag in Game 4. So, I'm with you. Get on the Kings right now. I think they very well can sweep the Golden State Warriors. I do like the Lakers. I don't believe that Morant is going to play tonight. I wouldn't be surprised if the Memphis Grizzlies win. They have done well. They're 23-18-1 against the spread without Morant on the court. Like I said, I'm a big Tyus Jones fan. I think he could step up admirably. But without Morant healthy in this Lakers team, eventually going back to the Staples or the crypto arena, I think the Lakers win this series. And also, even though the Bucks are not expected to have Giannis tonight, I do like the Bucks in this matchup. I don't think enough is being discussed with the fact that Tyler Hero is not going to be active for the Miami Heat tonight. And this is a Miami Heat team. They shot 68% from the field, Dan. They shot 60% from the three-point line. There's no way they do that again. There's just no way. Yeah. And without Hero, this is a Bucks team. They've got Middleton, Holiday, Lopez, Portis, next man up mentality. They've got a lot of talent. They've got a lot of depth. So I like the Bucks to win the series, and I think they'll win tonight.
So one of my favorite plays yesterday was actually we had the Bucks minus 9.5, I think, at plus 157 on Sport Trade. Now that's a big number, but I agree with you. I think Giannis plays. I think the Heat played above their heads, and they're old. And I think playing every other day, now they've had an extra day off, it's going to come back to get them. But Game 2 at home for the Bucks, a game they lost Game 1 where they looked kind of disheveled. I expect them to kind of come out and lay the wood. If I could quickly go back to Sacramento. So if they get out of this Golden State series, presumably they may end up playing the Lakers. Now, you can look at this from two separate sides. You could say, oh my God, the Lakers are going to go to the Western Conference Finals as a 7 seed. Or you could look at this and say, Sacramento is 3-1 against the Lakers this year. And in the wins, they weren't particularly close either. So you could be looking at a situation where Sacramento is going to go to the Western Conference Finals. And, I got to tell you, this Phoenix LA series is going to be really interesting. And I think the winner of that series is really going to give Denver a hard time. We could be looking at the Western Conference representative coming out of the Phoenix LA series.
Yeah, I don't know about you. Like, I know the Suns were really impressive last night. If anybody stayed up late to watch that comeback in the second half, because they looked god awful in the first. But just looking at that, Paul George isn't playing well. He seems really off. Unless KD just goes like Superman KD, I don't know about this Suns team. I
Hmm.
mean, a wing and a prayer last night in that second half. Did you stay up and watch that second half, Dan? I mean, it was Jekyll and Hyde. It was night and day
A little bit
compared to
of
what we
it.
saw in the first half.
But when I think about teams who have the best player on the floor, regardless of anything, you can make the claim that in every series, I mean, maybe Kawhi at KD is a toss up, but they still have Devin Booker. And Chris Paul's been bad, like can't shoot bad. Like DeAndre Ayton is like a fifth banana masquerading as a second banana. But I think the more reps that team gets, I think they have much more talent than Denver, regardless of Jokic. And I would take KD over Jokic personally. I think if they can find a way out of the LA series, I think they can beat Denver. And you may be looking at a Phoenix Sacramento, or imagine a Phoenix Lakers Western Conference Finals.
You
That's
know,
that's wild to me.
I think Devin Booker is like 0 for 100 from downtown. By the way, he's masterful with that mid range jumper, and Aiton was unbelievable. He was unstoppable yesterday with that mid range jumper as well. But I don't. There's just something about this Phoenix Suns team. It's not gelling. It's not bo. It's not. It's not.
Well, they haven't
I
played
just I
together.
think yeah, they haven't had a lot of time together. It just doesn't sit well with me. By the
Okay.
way, I know we're about to sign off. I
Yeah.
just want to say that I told you I love the Rays and the Reds under 10 and a half. And sure enough, that game ended the Rays 8, the Reds 0. And you could have bought that under when we launched this show at
Yeah.
$16. So,
Hmm.
hello, I would have kicked your butt there, Dan. I'm just saying. And I love the Rangers. Right now, they're up 5-1, top of the fourth. And again, I could have gotten them at, I want to say it was like trading at like $45. I was about to buy like a gazillion shares of them. That's
Yeah.
where the majority of my money was going to go. Where I did fall short right now is the Diamondbacks and the
Yep.
Cardinals. Cardinals are up 6 runs against the Diamondbacks. It's top of the 6th. Still some game to be played, but nonetheless, that's where I would have lost my money. But my two best bets were the under, and I was going to put a lot of money on that because at $19 or $16, and then of course the Rangers. So just in hindsight, I
There you
would have won, Dan. I would if the beta
We'll
app
never
would have
know.
worked, Dan. I would have won, dude.
We'll never know. We'll never know. All right, Anita, thank you so much as always. We will talk to you next week. Thanks so much for joining us. We'll see you later.